Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Wrestling vs. the World podcast. You're enjoying your day, sweet. If not, then what the hell ever. So, I was trying to think of another little podcast episode here, and there's one subject I was thinking about that I wanted to kind of categorize. Some of these I've already covered as individual topics on the show, but I wanted to go over my thought process on my personal 10 biggest wrestling pet peeves that I've got, and it's solely from stuff mostly in WWE because that's the company I'm most familiar with. But it's stuff that they do that I'm personally not a fan of that kind of gets irritating. So let's go over this. So number one, the number one contendership logic. I've already covered this on one episode. It is just like the company just does not seem to know how to properly book somebody as the rightful number one contender to a championship. Like they could have somebody win a battle royal. They can win a tournament or something. Next thing you know, oh, somebody else is number one contender. Oh wait, they've already done that just recently for the build to SummerSlam because Obafemi, he wins King of the Ring and he's supposed to get the title shot at SummerSlam against Roman, but then Brock's just like, no, you give up your title shot, you're gonna go against me at Hell in a Cell. And then that means Seth Rollins is somehow number one contender because he didn't even win past the first round of the King of the Ring tournament or anything else. Like, he was just feuding with Braun Breaker, and all of a sudden, oh, he's now number one contender. Like, I can understand Cody Rhodes getting the shot at SummerSlam against CM Punk because he was the number one contender before Punk had to take in because Cody was taken out, so he's owed his title shot, so it's like, yeah, he earned it. That makes sense. But you look at so many other times where somebody gets a title shot, and you look and it's just like, why do you get the shot when you didn't do anything to earn it? It's just like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it should give you that notion that hard work pays off. You have to earn what you get. But when you have wrestlers that just suddenly get these shots just because, it's just like, why? Like, it's just still baffling. Like, I thought it was just a Vince McMahon problem, but we're still getting it to this day. Like, holy crap. Number two, a personal one that really gets under my skin. Delayed selling in wrestling for when they're trying to do double down or triple down spots. Like, you get hit with the move, and then instead of immediately selling it, you gotta launch your move, then on the opponent as a rebound, before then you both, like, all collapse and everything, sell the fact that you both got knocked out for a moment. Like, the base example that I recently saw that I remember that really pissed me off was the WrestleMania 41 Night 1 main event. It was Punk, Seth, and Roman Reigns, and for them to do a triple down spot, like, they're all down on the ring, you had CM Punk give the GTS to Seth Rollins, so then Seth, after he takes the GTS, he lands on his feet and rebounds back first off the ropes. Roman spears Punk, and then Seth, before he actually falls down and sells the fact that he got hit with the GTS, he stomps Roman and then falls over. Just as like usually that move is like finisher moves like that are supposed to knock you out in a way, or at least most of the way to the point where you're not going to easily get up. But it's just like he gets hit with the move, and then he still has enough energy to deliver his finisher on his Roman, and then suddenly sell the move, the finisher that he just took. Like, I know we've seen this so many times before, like one-on-one and triple threats and all that stuff, but it's just like it suspends that disbelief that this finisher is supposed to be able to possibly knock somebody out, whether it be one-on-one or a multi-man match. But yeah, you have to take a moment to delay selling that just so you can get your own move on somebody else, and then everybody goes down. Like, we used to be in the era where it's like everybody takes each other out with like a double clothesline, a double midair crossbody, somebody gets hit with like a drop kick in midair after they jump off the top rope, stuff like that. Yeah, that stuff's basic, but at least it makes more logical sense when it comes to the delivery of these moves and to the point where it brings that whole moment where everybody's down in the ring instead of having to stop what you're doing for a moment and delay your selling because, oh, we gotta have this big epic moment to pop the crowd. It's just like, I really do not like seeing that happen. And I know that's happened in multiple matches. That was like the first match that comes to mind when I think of this problem. Number three, this one I've mentioned also in the past. Finishers meaning less. And I don't mean like when you take somebody's finisher that somebody else has used, like when the Usos overdo the super kick and it doesn't mean as much like when Shawn Michaels used to do it. I mean, like, especially in the problem that we've had in the matches over the last nearly 20 years where you have to do multiple finishers over and over and over to finish the match. And I know they're trying to do the whole thing where it's like you build suspense for when the finisher actually matters at the end. Like, oh, you don't know when this finisher is going to matter to the point where it ends the match, but it also lessens the purpose of a finisher. It's like you don't play Mortal Kombat and do a fatality or whatever, and then still continue the fight immediately afterwards. It's like that doesn't make any logical sense. It's just like, you shouldn't have to hit your, like, Shawn Michaels rarely ever had to do the super kick more than, or switch in music multiple times to finish an opponent off. Like, maybe a few times throughout his career, after, like, having to then get the cover and everything. Like, it makes sense if you then finish, like, cover, or protect your finisher with, like, a rope break of some kind. Like, oh, Kevin Owens protected the code breaker by taking it and then gets one finger on the ropes to break it to survive the pinfall. It's like, you're doing something to protect the finisher, but it's just like constant kick out and kicking out at one from a major move. Like, oh, Cody took the burning hammer and he kicks out at one, everything. It's just like, these moves are supposed to give the, like, illusion that these moves are good enough to finish a match, like we've seen so many times over the years. But yeah, we're in the point where it takes multiple hits of these finishers to put somebody away. It's like, you're making these moves feel less like finishers. You know? Like, look at Roman Brock. 6 F5s to defeat Roman at WrestleMania 34. That's too many. Okay? Like, there are rare times where it might work, but like when it becomes so oversaturated the way that it does every time we do a big main event match, where it's just like long drawn out with multiple finishers, or you're trying to speed run a match with just finishers and signatures over and over and over like in a video game, it's just like, what? It's irritating. Number 4. This one I've seen many times before. It's just a personal irritant. No selling a body part that just gets worked on throughout a match. Like, there are rare times where, like, it might kind of make sense a little bit. Like, I know people want to go to the adrenaline type of, like, answer there. Being like, oh, adrenaline kicks in, you suddenly stop feeling it. But it's just like, how are you supposed to suspend your disbelief watching a match if somebody gets worked on a body part for, like, 5 minutes straight? Like, moves done to it, held in rest holds and submission holds. But then all of a sudden they get up and, oh, it's not hurting me anymore, and I can continue with this epic comeback. Like, it's like the personal problem I had with the Iron Man match from WrestleMania 12 between Shawn and Bret. Shawn repeatedly throughout the match worked on Bret's left arm and shoulder, but yet Bret's no-sold it completely. Like, never once did he sell the fact that he got his arm worked on. Just you watch that match back if you can actually survive that match that long and boring. But it's just like, how do you get your body part worked on and then it not affect you as time goes on in the match? Like, if your back is worked on and everything, you should not be able to suddenly be able to lift somebody up like with a power bomb without your back buckling. It's like, it should still maintain throughout the match. Because, like, I know, like I said, I know adrenaline might kick in to a degree, but it's just like, it can't last forever. So it's just like, it becomes like pointless work in a match. Number 5, this one I've personally heard my grievances on a few times. Heels being comedic. Like, I do not like when the heels try to do comedy stuff to try to get that, like, ha-ha reaction from the crowd. Like, my firm belief is that when you're a heel, your purpose is to get that negative reaction. You're supposed to get people to want to see you get your comeuppance. They want to see you get your ass kicked and, like, pay for what you've done and everything. But it's just like, it's hard to sell that when you have wrestlers going out there trying to be funny. Like, the only time I've seen a heel being funny and then using it the right way would be Hollywood Rock. Because, like, he would crack up, like, everybody in the audience, make them laugh and everything, and then he turns around and shuts down the crowd. It's like, that's doing it right. You're not trying to solely rake in the positive reactions from the crowd by being funny and everything when you're supposed to get the opposite reactions. He's at least doing something to follow up there to maintain his bad guy status. But other guys, like, you look at Stone Cold in 2001, you look at The New Day during their 2014, or, well, late 2014/early 2015 to 2016 run, oh, we're being goofy and ha-ha, unicorn horns and all that stuff. It's like, that goes against the purpose of the heel when you're trying to get that positive reaction. Like, I get it if you're doing it to start to transition into a babyface as time goes along, but there are characters that do it for so long that it's just like, you're not supposed to pander to the crowd. Get that negative reaction. Make that your sole focus. Number 6. This one we've seen so many times, and there's a bit of an asterisk that I got here. Someone's taken out backstage by a mystery assailant. Because, like, a lot of times when we do this, it's because a wrestler is legitimately injured and they gotta get taken out. But there are times where we see this and there's no follow-up. Like, 2 big key moments easily come to mind. Edge when he got taken out backstage in No Way Out 2003. I've covered this pay-per-view just recently on the show. And even Sabu backstage in December 2006, because like Edge in 2003, he had the legit neck injury and he couldn't have the match, so they had to write him off television, saying like, oh, he got attacked backstage, he's knocked out, stretch it out, and then he was out for over a year, and then they never made any kind of mention, being like, oh, who could have caused this? Because it's just like, it was just so weird. And then we also saw that later in December 2006, which a show I wish I could erase from my memory as hard as I could. You had Sabu get taken out of the match. Like, I know there was real life reasons behind the scenes, like a couple conflicting stories as to why he got taken out of the chamber match before the match happened, and then he got replaced by Hardcore Holly. But they never revealed, like, oh, who was the one that took him out and why? Like, why Sabu out of, like, everybody else? Because, like, I don't know if he was even, I don't remember if Sabu was even feuding one-on-one with somebody in particular to really raise suspicions as to who it was. Like, maybe it was Big Show, and they couldn't follow up on it because right after that, Big Show was gone from the company because he finally left to work on his health and all that stuff. But it's just like, you do it so many times. It's like, oh, somebody's knocked out. Who did it? And like, the only time it really draws any intrigue is if it leads to somebody turning heel, like Enzo and Cass in 2017. Oh, Big Cass was like randomly knocked out backstage, and so was Enzo. And they realized, oh, Big Cass was behind all of it and did a ruse on himself being knocked out because like he got tired of Enzo holding him down and causing him problems and stuff. It's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, it's something interesting to see, like, this, like, two friends split up and the motivation. But it's just, like, when you have these ones where it's, like, there's no follow-up, or even just a heel taking out a babyface or something without any kind of, like, intrigue, being like, oh, why'd you do it type thing, it just becomes overdone, you know? Number 7. Oh, this one I've seen so many times. Joining a faction after they've already beaten you down. Like, I don't like that whole if you can't beat them, join them mindset in wrestling. Like, we'd seen it with like Ahmed Johnson joining the Nation of Domination after their lengthy feud, where all of a sudden he turns on the Undertaker and joins them. We are the Nation and all that shit. And then of course that didn't last long because Ahmed kept getting injured. But it's just like, why join the Nation of Domination after they made you life hell? Or even the biggest one, everybody constantly joining the NWO and WCW. Like, you look at Big Show / The Giant. He joined the group, he got kicked out, and he eventually came back after they were beating him up and, like, took the WCW championship from him after the NWO, like, formed and all that stuff. It's just like, what logical sense does it make to align with somebody who you've been feuding with and has done you wrong? Like, it kind of also circles back a little bit, in a little bit of a way, like with the alliance I mentioned with Stone Cold and Triple H. Like, why would they align when they're feuding and, like, had such a personal feud? Like, you don't suddenly just forgive and forget, like, a blood feud like that to the point where it makes sense for them to align. And it, like, especially happens in factions. Like, why would you join a group of people who are brutally whipping your ass? Like, I think the only group that's ever tried to make sense out of this was in TNA when they tried to make sense of Bully Ray joining Aces and Eights. And they had the video packages to show its evidence with his monologue explaining how he concocted this whole plan of being the leader of Aces and Eights, becoming champion, and, like, undermining Hogan. Like, they at least put effort into making sense of this. But other ones, it just doesn't make sense. Like, oh, I'm suddenly cool with you guys and I'm joining you now. Like, no. Like, the only time they ever try to, like, the go-to thing that they even try with other groups to make it make sense for them to join is if it'd be like, oh, they sold out, they took the money. Like, it's just overdone and nonsensical. Number 8, we're seeing this plenty of times, lack of title defenses. You put a championship on somebody, and they rarely ever defend the title. Like, it also kind of circles back to what I mentioned with that whole 30-day title defense rule that WWE's had, where, like, oh, you have to defend your title within 30 days of your recent defense, otherwise you get stripped of the title for being an inactive champion. But it's just like, you have times, like, where somebody gets a championship put on them, and then they rarely ever or never defend a title. It's like, why put the title on them if they're not going to be a champion? Like, defending it. Like, you'll take a title off somebody if they get injured. Like, the moment Logan Paul got his tricep torn, they suddenly, that very same night, they took the championship away from him and then put it on Braun Breaker the next night on Raw, or, like, Raw after whenever he tore his tricep. Like, they're quick to take the title off of you if you're injured and everything, even slightly, and you don't even know how long you're going to be out just yet. But yeah, when you are actively on TV and everything, you don't have to defend your title. You don't need to be a defending champion. Even for, like, months on end. Like, we kept seeing that even since, like, ever since Brock was having his run in 2014 and everything, being a part-time on and off appearing champion. It's just like, make the titles mean something by actually putting them on the line. Make these titles feel relevant to the program. Number 9, this mostly circles back to what we saw last year. Paul Heyman can't be trusted. Now, I know he's a heel manager and everything, like whether he's been GM or just an active manager over like a talent and everything. But like, how many times have we seen this of him where he's managing somebody and then he turns on them? Like, out of all the people that he's ever managed, whether it be as a GM or even like a direct manager, the only people that I can think of that he never turned on were Big Show in 2006, because around that time, that's when they both left the company. Ryback, they just drifted apart. Curtis Axel, they drifted apart. And Cesaro, he just suddenly said, I'm no longer a Paul Heyman guy, because it just wasn't working. Those guys that they didn't, like, the last 3 that I mentioned didn't have, like, this turn split off from Heyman, and they just never really went anywhere in WWE after this. It's like, yeah, they might have had minute successes here and there, but never anything major. But then you look at other guys, he's constantly turning on them. Brock twice, Punk twice, Roman and all that. Like, you look at last year. I just mentioned earlier the WrestleMania 41 Night 1 main event, Punk, Roman, and Seth. Within that, between WrestleMania and just after SummerSlam, Heyman had turned on all 3 guys. Like, he had to disassociate with Roman going into WrestleMania to fulfill his promise to Punk. Turned on Punk at the end of the match. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's realigned with Roman. No, he turns on Roman too. It's like, okay, that's at least interesting. But then after SummerSlam, when Seth is world champion after catching up Money in the Bank, and Seth is suddenly injured, the Vision attacks Seth, and then Heyman is just like, oh, I'm aligning with these guys now. So within just like a 6-month period, he had already turned on all 3 men that he had managed during that year, especially those 3 men being the WrestleMania 41 Night 1 main eventers. It's just like this constant, like, I remember when he turned on Seth, I was just completely numb to him, just like, why? Like, it's just a constant, like, I know that's his character's reputation that he cannot be trusted, but we've seen this so many times, and some guys multiple times. It's just like, you become numb to seeing this over and over again. Like I said, I know real life circumstances might play into some of these decisions, but when you see it so often, and especially, like I said, 3 times in 1 year, like even less than a 1 year period that when all this went down last year, it's just like, what? I don't care now. Like, I don't like seeing this being overdone. And number 10, I'm sure a lot of people feel this. Let's recreate Montreal. Because, like, how many times have we seen this, not even just in WWE, but also some other companies, were to just suddenly pull the rug underneath from fans, let's recreate the Montreal Screwjob. Like, we saw it at Breaking Point between Punk and The Undertaker. We'd seen it at one of the Extreme Rules pay-per-views, I can't remember which one, between Natalya and Charlotte. Like, we saw it in TNA with Hogan, or, like, at ringside between Kurt Angle and AJ Styles. Like, and we even saw in Survivor Series 98 for Rock and Mankind. At least that made sense to do that double turn between The Rock and Mankind with the whole build of the creation of the corporation. But it's just like, we've seen so many references and callbacks to the Montreal Screwjob, it's the point where it's like, that subject's already been milked enough throughout history. Like, every time you see a Bret Hart documentary, they constantly focus on Montreal. Oh, Montreal happened. Montreal happened. Did you know Bret got screwed in Montreal? We know. The company's reminded us so many times because it's become such a focal point around him to the point where you can't escape it, even if there's no new information to ever learn from one documentary to another. It's just like, we know it was a significant moment in WWE history, but to even bring it up constantly in storylines, like somebody gets screwed by like a Dodger referee like that, it's just like, it's an overly saturated topic that doesn't need to keep getting brought back into our faces like that. So yeah, that's just my personal pet peeves list, because it's just like, I was thinking to myself, it's just like, what things am I just not fond of that constantly happen in wrestling, or at least even within the WWE realm? Like I said, I know other companies kind of follow with some of these grievances that I just mentioned and everything, and maybe some of y'all disagree with that. That's fine. Just let me know in the comments section below, folks. Like, what do you think of my list, and like, what are some personal pet peeves you have that are done in wrestling? Not something involving fans or anything, just that wrestling companies do that have been like kind of overdone, that have gotten under your skin for one reason or another. Just let me know let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's episode of the podcast, folks, please remember, leave a like, subscribe to the bell, turn on here on YouTube, comment your thought below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for listening, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, and good day, everybody.